I'm about to start rapping, y'all, right now. Y'all ready? I'm about to spit something for y'all right now for the podcast. Here we go. Hey, hey, hey. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I am not about to rap. I am not about to rap at all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Built from the break, the podcast, episode 4. We are at episode 4, y'all. Can y'all believe it? Appreciate the community. As always, when we get this podcast started, my name is Kyle Petties. I'm the host, the CEO. What my guy Shannon Sharp say? He says the proprietor of the podcast. I'm gonna turn my phone on silent real quick so we don't have no distractions. Hey, but real quick before we get started, I'm giving everybody a chance to hop in the room real quick. You know these notifications. I'm working with Facebook, making sure all this stuff gets pushed out correctly. So, bam. Okay, we're showing up live. That's what I was double checking. Make sure that we're showing up live everywhere. Turn that down. Did my okay, welcome messages in the chat. Cool. Let me let's see, let's check one more thing. And then we're gonna get started. I gotta make sure my noties are going out. If you're just joining, welcome. If you're just coming in, welcome. Let me put my We Live on my Facebook real quick so they know. Bam. It's so many like little checks I gotta do. Like when this thing first starts, y'all don't understand. Cause I'm managing the page. So I gotta hop over to the page, make sure the page is showing up that we live. And it is. Great. Then I gotta hop back over to my personal page. Make sure that it's sharing the correct way. The event page is sharing. Are we locked in? I think everything is working right now. Sound check. Oh, let me share this real quick. Bam. And drop this into my group me with my Bible study folks. Bible Study Chronicles group me. And I spell checked. I actually spell checked this week. So a couple weeks ago, y'all were being some haters, and y'all did not tell me that I was misspelling stuff. So I did spell check this week. So spell checks is done. Like we got it. We got the spell check. Y'all like the shirt? Future Millionaire. Five Below, baby. Had to go to Five Below. Get them graphic tees. All right. Let me start this intro over. Real quick. All right, here we go. We locked in. It's time. It's time to talk. Y'all know what time it is. It is time to talk. Let me drag my notes over here. Let me drag OBS over here. Make sure everything good. Bam. All right. We locked in. Y'all ready? How y'all feeling tonight? It's Monday. Whoever's in the chat, could you please just type something in the chat so I can make sure that the chat is working. I can make sure that my sound sounds good. Audio check. Turn this volume up just a little bit. Test. I just want to make sure y'all can hear me because we about to talk. Y'all like the intro music? Got some intro music now. Found me some royalty-free intro sounds. So hopefully I won't get shut down. Everything should be good on the music side of things. So we're starting to incorporate a little bit of music into the stream. And it's only going to grow and get bigger and better from there. So definitely I just wanted to start off by saying I appreciate everybody that's been showing support for the page over the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks. This is a brand new podcast. It's called Built from the Break. We're 4 episodes in. Tonight is the actual 4th episode. We've had a lot of fun over the last 3 weeks. I've had people weigh in offline. I've been watching the viewership too, just kind of seeing if people are even engaging with the podcast. And you guys would be surprised at how many views happen after I end the stream. So I don't know. Monday night is just like a busy night for a lot of people. But it's cool. It's cool to see that people are still going back, watching the videos. After we get done today, I'm going to upload this video into the Built from the Break page, so folks can go back. You can watch the last 4 episodes if you want to get caught up on the journey, on the story. But that's going to be the pivotal piece. You know, if you want to just kind of catch up, get up to speed on what's going on, what conversations we're having in here, that'd be a great way for you to go back and watch the previous streams. So I'm going to go ahead and get things kicked off. I got the time. I'm in Mountain Standard Time, so we in Colorado. I got the time right now, 6:06. I'm going to turn my camera. Y'all see Bucky over there? He over there getting it in on the Peloton. So he over there working out. So it's only right. We got to go ahead and get this thing kicked off the right way. So Built from the Break, the podcast. My name is Kyle Pettis. I am the founder of this podcast. I started this podcast for myself as a self-healing journey. Couple things. So if this is your first time joining, the whole purpose of this podcast and the reason I started it is because August 13th of this year, your boy turns 40. And approaching 40, I've been noticing that everything is changing. Everything has been changing. Kind of losing yourself on the way. You feel me? So as we approach 40, one of the things I'm trying to do is kind of find me again. Find out who I am. Because I've been in a lot of different roles in my life. And now it's kind of getting back to, hey, who is Kyle? You know, who is that person from a physical standpoint, mental, spiritual? It's really just a journey while managing and healing from childhood trauma. We got grief. We got life lessons. So much stuff is happening right now in my life that is causing change. And as I approach 40, I say, you know what? It is time to talk about it. Because I know there's other people who are probably going through things as well who don't talk about it like me. And I say, you know what? Let's do a podcast. Or let me start a podcast from a therapy standpoint, just to kind of get some things off my chest, let people in on who I am and what my life has looked like growing up and up until today. So that's a little purpose of the podcast. I want to talk about that for a second. But before we begin, we do have a tradition here on Built from the Break. So if y'all know, I like whiskeys and I like bourbons. So tonight I picked up just a very solid, is that a bourbon? Yeah, I think it's a bourbon. I could be wrong. It's Woodford Reserve. Yeah, it's bourbon. It's back there. So we start the podcast, every podcast, with what I call a prayer and a pour. So what that means is I'm gonna do a quick prayer, and then we're gonna pour a little silly juice, and then we're gonna get started with the conversation. So I want to start today's prayer. This is gonna be a special shout out prayer. It's a celebratory evening. So for those that don't know, my mom has been battling cancer, and she's already done all her chemo, but today she just had her last radiation appointment. So this is her second fight with cancer. God willing, this is the last fight with cancer, but I'm so excited because today she rung the bell. I didn't get the memo that we was all supposed to be wearing pink today. I don't even think I got anything pink, but super excited about that. Mom rung the bell today. I just got off the phone with her right before the podcast. She feels amazing. She's already on travel websites trying to look and see where she's going to vacation to. So I'm super excited about that because I'm like, man, it's scary. I mean, you're dealing with cancer and stuff like that. It's a scary thing, but I'm so freaking excited. I'm blessed that she has finished all of that. Like that whole little journey, that whole little spout that she had with cancer, right now it's off to the side. It's under control. So we're super excited about that. So already we got something to celebrate. Hold on one second. Let me pull this back up real quick. There we go. So I just noticed something. My Facebook admin panel is not telling me that y'all are talking to me. So I just logged into the chat. So I see y'all now. My bad. What's up, Kelly? Shani, that's Neek. Ashley, what's up? Angelica, what's up? Okay, I see y'all now. My bad. My dashboard on my computer wasn't telling me that nobody was talking to me, so I was about to keep rolling. But I see y'all now. I see everybody now. I appreciate y'all tuning in. All right, so the prayer. I almost forgot about the prayer. I'm thinking that we already did it because I just gave that whole shout out. So so real quick, let's bow our heads. You know what I'm saying? all my online people, bow your heads. This week for me praying, so I'm getting a little better at this, you know. Father God, we come to you today to say thank you, thank you, thank you. For the many blessings, obviously, that you've always bestowed upon our lives, for the work that you're doing in my life and all the people that are surrounding me. We ask for continued healing, continued good energy, continued blessings, continued abundance as we unpack all the layers of who I am as well as everything that's affected around me. Definitely wanted to give a huge big shout out to Big G for pulling my mom through this whole cancer battle. That's why I call God, Big G. But we just 100% appreciate every single thing that you've done for her healing journey. We're thankful. We're thankful that she's getting her strength back and she's getting that spunky personality back as well. So just want to say thank you. Lots to celebrate and lots to unpack tonight. So I just ask that you, as always, give me the words to say. Hopefully I touch somebody's heart out there and that it moves them in a way where it helps them through whatever trials or tribulations that they're going through. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. 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 All right, y'all, give me a second. I gotta go get my pour. This pour is dedicated. Well, not dedicated. This pour is sponsored by Woodford Reserve. And it's a whiskey. It's a bourbon whiskey. So I wasn't far off. It's a bourbon whiskey. We are gonna grab a little cocktail cherry. All right. And let's go ahead. Get a little pour. A little bit of a pour. All right. Hey, that Japanese whiskey I had the other day, it was good, man. It was really good. I wanted to go back to that tonight, but I've been trying to mix it up. So we got a little bit of a pour. That was a lot of bit of a pour, but it's all good. It's got a giant ice cube in there, so that's gonna water down. We're gonna sip on that. That's the only thing I'm drinking tonight. Oh, actually, no, that's not the only thing I'm drinking tonight. Give me 1 second. All right, now I'm ready. Y'all remember the green tea shots? Hey, these things are so good. I'm gonna go buy me like 2 more packs of these. They just taste, oh, it's so frozen. I guess I ain't drinking that. It froze. I didn't know they could freeze. Well, that's frozen. All right, so let's begin. Real quick, I want to start this podcast off. Number one, the name of tonight's episode is Leading While Bleeding. Leading while bleeding. So, I want to start this podcast off by saying, number one, transparent moment, because we got to be transparent on here. I did not want a podcast tonight. I really didn't. I did not want a podcast tonight. I don't know what it was. I think it was stuff leading up to 6 o'clock because I wasn't 100% prepared. It's been a pretty long week. Lots of, I would say, breakthroughs from a spiritual standpoint, breakthroughs from a mental standpoint, physical. I've been hitting some goals in the gym, hitting some new personal records in the gym as far as throwing some weight. So it's just been a lot going on. So leading up to tonight, I was like, man, I kind of just want to turn everything off and watch a movie. We're watching right now House of David. So I was really just kind of wanting to kick back and just watch another episode. I watched episode 1 last night. It was fire. So I didn't really want a podcast tonight. So I think that's my transparent moment. The reason I'm saying that is because consistency matters. Sometimes you have to do what you may not necessarily feel like doing sometimes, especially when you've already put something in motion and you've already committed to something. So that's one thing I don't want to fall off is like, I knew I was like, I'm going to do the podcast tonight, even though I was almost talking myself out of it. I was like, I could just throw something up on the Built from the Break page, tell everybody, hey, tonight I'm taking a personal night. See you next week. But I didn't want to do that because deep down inside, I was like, what if there's that one person who said, tonight I'm actually going to tune into Kyle's podcast. Tonight I'm going to sit back and see what he has to talk about, see if it affects me at all. And then at the last minute, I pull a, hey, I need a personal night. And that one person who had the schedule to sit there and listen and get something out of this is no longer wants to even probably tune in, you know? So I was like, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's lock in. Kelly was helping me out, kind of brainstorming a little bit. I did switch gears. So the original topic for tonight, the 5 queens that I put out last week, we're not doing that. A little audible, but I wanted to make sure I talked about something that was on my heart, and that is leading while bleeding. And what I mean by that is this tonight's podcast is going to be about leadership. It's going to be about being in a leadership role and having so much responsibility that people don't even realize that the people with the most responsibility, the people that's smiling, the people that's look like they got everything together, sometimes are the people that's hurting the most. And that's kind of what kind of touched me a little bit today, because I was having a conversation about this, and I was like, man, being a man and just having responsibility in general is one thing, but then also being groomed is what I would call it. You hear the phrase natural born leader. I rephrased it to natural groomed leader, because I feel like a lot of my life, that's what it was. It was like that molding and that grooming of, you will be in leadership roles. You will be a leader. You are a leader. And I always heard that since I was young. You're a leader. You're a leader. You're a leader. So now it's just like, okay, got it. I'm a leader. I've been in all these leadership roles. But when you are put in that atmosphere of being in leadership roles, what happens a lot of times is nobody ever asks you, are you good? Nobody really asks you, hey, are you straight? You okay? You got this under control? You got a lot on your plate. And a lot of times nobody checks in with you. So that's what the topic is about tonight a little bit. We got a little call to action at the end of this. So we're not going to go long tonight, but I really wanted to just put a good message out tonight. Go over a little bit of my life and some different roles that I've been in that has kind of shaped me into being a leader, what that has looked like in different roles. And then I have a call to action at the end of this podcast tonight that I'll definitely want people to take serious. But before we do that, y'all know I got to brag about something. Let me find it real quick. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. Quick flash. All right, so let's unlock this. I like to blow this up every time I do my graphics, because number one, sometimes they don't be looking like me, but I don't know. I just be happy. All right, I don't want to break this too much. There we go. I just want to blow the graphic up. Shout out to ChatGPT, man. Look at ChatGPT. This is, we can sit here. We can sit this right here for a second. This is how I feel. This is really how I feel sometimes. And a lot of times I try not to complain, and I was talking to my brother about this. I said, hey man, you cannot complain. We can't pray to have more on our plate, to be successful, to be business owners, to be busy, booked and busy. You always hear that. We can't pray about that and then complain about it when it happens. So when you put a lot on your plate, it's one of those things where, yes, you loaded that plate yourself. So at the end of the day, you got to deal with that plate. If not, take stuff off of it. So this is how I feel sometimes. And it's so crazy because I just typed in, I was like, Chat GPT, man, use this picture, use this image. And I want you to show me frustrated with all of the roles and the responsibilities that I have to carry on a daily basis. And it brought this together. And I was like, dang, that's crazy. It's got some business stuff in there. It's got the team. We're going to talk about teamwork. It's got finances and graphs and briefcases and all the people staring at you. That's the big one. It's all the eyes. All the people staring at you. Whether they're praying for your success or whether they're praying for your downfall. Either way, you got people staring at you. So let's talk about it. So I'm going to go back a little bit. As a kid, growing up, since we minimize that real quick. As a kid growing up, I was trying to go back into like my first, I guess, doses of leadership. I told you guys about my grandmother teaching me the business for icy cups. That was a little bit of leadership in that, that was a little bit of leadership, a little bit of business ownership, teaching me how to be an entrepreneur, how to make some money over the summer. And it was successful. We sold some icy cups. We had a good time. But I really wasn't like, oh, I'm a leader. I was just like, hey, I got a little business on the side. I think my first actual, like for real leadership role, when I was younger, I did one summer of Boy Scouts. I was in Boy Scouts for one summer. This Boy Scouts was so short. I don't even remember. Well, it's Cub Scouts. It was part Boy Scouts, but it was Cub Scouts. I was a Cub Scout. And as a kid, I remember, my mom raising me. She was always saying, my baby's a leader. My baby's a leader. My baby's a leader. He'll do it. He'll do it. He'll do it. And she was always putting me on the forefront. Because she was just proud of me, you know. So she was like, "Hey, let him do it. Let him do it. He got it. He got it." So she put me on the forefront. So I remember being in Cub Scouts, and in Cub Scouts, you're trying to get your badges and your little pins and all that stuff. So I forgot what I was doing in Cub Scouts, but I just remember that was one of my first leadership roles. I ain't gonna talk about it too much because I barely remember, but I just remember Cub Scouts had you out in the forest. We learned how to tie knots and ropes and doing s'mores around the campfire. I remember we went on a little camping trip, and that's about as far as I remember about Cub Scouts. Then, as I approached elementary school, I remember my first. I remember this vividly, and it was my first time in the forefront of something, and there was a play, and I was a lead. I had got a leading role in the play, and it was Romeo and Juliet. I remember it to this day, and I had auditioned, and I got one of the parts in Romeo and Juliet. So I'm like, okay, cool. Got my little Romeo and Juliet part. That I think was my first time, kind of like being in a position where all eyes were on me, where something was like making me nervous, or I was in front of people where I had to show, I had to put on a show, I had to act. So in that aspect, I was like, okay, remember these lines, and I didn't have a whole lot of lines to say, but I just remember we had Romeo and Juliet. Um, then as we graduated, getting closer to graduation, some of y'all might remember this song, R. Kelly. I should just have y'all guess what R. Kelly song we was all singing in elementary school, middle school. I'm gonna give y'all a second to put that in the chat. If anybody want to take a guess at what R. Kelly song were we singing in elementary school, middle school, and I cannot sing, so I don't know why I was in the front of this. R. Kelly. I'm just looking at the chat, see if anybody can guess that real quick. We're gonna see. If y'all don't get it, it's fine. I'm gonna let you know the answer. About 10 seconds. I'm gonna let you know the answer. I just want to see if anybody guessed it first in the chat. We got a winner. 100%. I believe I can fly. But I still almost know that whole song by heart to this day. I remember singing that, and I don't know why I don't even know how I got to be in the front. But I guess as a kid, maybe I did have some vocals. Maybe I had a little range. Kyle, my son, he honor choir, so maybe he got it from me. I don't know. No, it ain't for me. It's definitely not my side of the family. But it was I Believe I Could Fly. So we was all singing I Believe I Could Fly. And that was like coming off of the play, and then I Believe I Can Fly, kind of being in the front of the class, being in front of parents and folks coming down. That was kind of like, I guess, my indoctrination to public speaking, to being in the forefront, to having eyes on me, right? And then I move on to middle school, high school, and a couple of programs I was in high school, middle school going into high school was orchestra. So a lot of people don't know, but I played the viola. So not the violin, I played the viola all through middle school. Played it all 4 years of high school. Um, That's where I had the fine arts scholarship that I didn't use to go to Valdosta. I talked about that in another podcast. I didn't want to play string instruments going to college, so I went to Valdosta on academics. So I had the academics and I had the fine arts. So or on an orchestra. So now in orchestra, if you don't know, there's positions. You're battling for seats. You're battling for first chair. That's what we call it. So I remember I was always in this constant battle for first chair because my best friend was better than me. She got down on the viola. So it was either me or her that was first chair every single year. I mean, it was like even throughout the year, we had our quarterly battles where it's like you can challenge for first chair, you can battle for first chair. First chair was so tough, man. So my girl Tavia, she was killing me, bruh. Like I rarely was first chair, and if I beat her, she had to have an off day. But it was either me and her. We were going back and forth. I think the lowest I ever dropped the whole time I was in high school was down to third chair. But I was always on the front row. Period. Like that front row, we was holding it down. We was holding it down for the strings. So the year that Drumline came out, everybody got hyped. Now y'all remember I'm in Atlanta. I'm going to Morrow High School. Drumline comes out. Some of the best players on our drum line at the time had a chance to go be in the movie. So they went up to North Clayton High School. They shot it at a few different high schools in Atlanta, but they was able to go over and actually be on the Drumline movie. And I remember we was like, dang man, like these are folks that's like right here in school with us, and they in the band, and they over here on Drumline, they on the movie. So I remember seeing that, and I was like, shoot, I'm trying to join the Drumline, but I knew I couldn't quit orchestra because I was like, if I quit orchestra, man, my mom gonna kill me. So I was like, I can't quit. So I went and talked to the not the drum major, the band director. I went and talked to the band director, Mr. Lindsay. I was talking to him, and I was like, hey, would it be okay if I came over to the and played in the drum, or tried out for the drum line? So he's like, hey, we having auditions after school, pull up. So come to the auditions. I auditioned immediately. He's like, I got a spot for you, and he put me on bass drum. And it's so crazy. I feel like some of the drumline movies like feel like my real life. But so I'm playing bass drum. So now I'm in orchestra and I'm playing bass drum. So I'm going to all the football games, playing during the halftime, doing our whole little battle of bands, drumline battles outside the bus, in the parking lot, getting down. Like we having a blast. And I'm in the forefront. Now I'm going for sections. I'm trying to be a leader. So it's all going back to being a leader. I'm trying to be a leader. So I'm battling for sections. I'm trying to be the first bass drum player. Just I want to be like the leader of my section. And in that realm, I would say I was like the assistant leader for the bass drums, because we had another cat. I can't remember his name to save my life. I wonder how he's doing too. But he could just crank it when we was out there. And I could never play louder than him. He was a bigger dude. I mean, he was just like, he was going crazy. So he won. I mean, he was like our section leader for bass drums, and I was like runner up pretty much. So again, we were still kind of running things as far as like the drum line. We had a lot of influence on the culture, what we was wearing, graphic design, shirts that we was wearing, competitions. Like we was involved. Like drum line was where it was at, in that junior to senior year of high school. And then of course, I graduate high school. I move on. And then my next leadership role, I'm in college now. I'm at Valdosta State. I'm on the yard. So I'm going to we doing the HBCU. Well, I ain't going to say HBCU. We the HBCU of the South. But Valdosta State, we're going to do the whole college podcast on a different one. That's the one that's sponsored by Blue Juice. But one of the things that we did in college, or my leadership role in college, was I guess I was looking to be in a fraternity. I started looking to be in a fraternity. I started going to different socials. I'm going to speed this part up, but obviously I joined Phi Beta Sigma, and that taught me a lot about leadership, because now we're in the community. Now we're doing community service. Now we're out at schools. Now we have a board. We're doing meetings. We have a president, financial advisors, secretaries. We have these roles. And now I'm starting to see like leadership in business at a different level as well. So in this aspect, I'm like, okay, well, let me get a little position within a fraternity. And I think I had like a little basic position like secretary or something. It wasn't nothing too crazy, but it was just starting to learn the business side of being in a fraternity. So that was pretty dope. So again, another leadership role. Just keep on. My life is just turned into all these positions of leadership, positions of either me presenting or me being in front of a crowd. Now, the good thing about being at Valdosta State is I took a class. One of my electives was public speaking. So when I took public speaking, it taught me a lot about being in front of a crowd, engaging with the audience, writing papers, presenting, skills I've used my whole life. It taught me at Valdosta State. So I'm over here in front of the crowd all the time on the campus. I wasn't too shy on campus because when I took public speaking, and I kind of been in the spotlight my whole, I guess, life growing up. So moving on from Valdosta, we get into the tax business. So get into the tax business, working with my uncle. About year 2, I'm already in my head like, I want a little bit more. Not more money. It was just more like purpose in the business. Like I was like, this thing could be bigger. Like let's do something big. And I remember talking to my uncle about it, and his mindset at the time was just like, nah, I kind of like the way we got it right now. And I was like, but we could do X, Y, and Z. And it was just like a clash after that. He was like, well, if you want to do that, what I'm saying, go do it. But you ain't gonna be working here. so we had a little disagreement on the vision of the business, and it's his business, so I didn't have a dog in that fight. He put me on, so out of respect, it was like, hey man, I gotta go, I guess, my separate way. So went my separate way, and my brother-in-law, we just had a bigger vision for the tax business. So we went a different direction. But again, it came back down to leadership. It was like we taking the step, we taking this leap of faith. We are about to go open this business ourselves. We're gonna rebuild our clientele. We're gonna have this business be a pivotal part of our family's finances. You know, something that's gonna support our journey every year when it comes to our finances. So we went off on our own and we started doing our thing, right? But the tax business did teach me that real like business mindset. Like we got to now, you got to go out and get it. You got to go out and get your own clients. You bring your clients in, take care of them, do referral system, let them bring back people. But we now are in big business. Like this ain't no small time thing. We dealing with people's money now. So again, I had to grow up quick because at this time I'm only in my early 20s and I'm handling people who's 40, 50 years old, pensions and retirements and all these tax forms. And they trusted me in my early 20s as an expert. So I had to grow up kind of quick with that piece because it's like, oh yeah, like I got to make sure these folks trust me. I got to dress apart. I got to talk right. I got to keep my hair cut. Everything has to be fresh because now I am presenting an image to gain these clients. So that was a big piece. And then moving on from the tax business, I'm just give y'all more leadership roles. All these times I've been in leadership. Rough Riders. A lot of you know I was part of Rough Riders Motorcycle Club, Lifestyles, and at first I was just a soldier. You know, coming into Rough Riders, joined the motorcycle club. Took me right about a year before I got patched up and had my cut and everything, and pretty fast into being in Rough Riders. I already knew I was gonna be in leadership roles, but the main role I thought I was gonna be in forever was treasurer. Just go figure. I'll do finances. So I was a treasurer like super early coming into Rough Riders, and then I just had my mindset was like they're never gonna vote for me for any other position outside of treasurer. Things changed on the set here. A lot of different people moved, and a lot of crazy stuff happened on the set. And things got to a point where we had to do a revote, and our structuring for Colorado Springs, we needed new leadership. So in my head, I'm like, okay, bet. You know, I kind of already knew who was going to be the president, but I was like, I'll be the treasurer, and I'm thinking about all the other roles of who would be the best fits for all these other roles. Long and behold, we do the vote, and they vote me to be the president. So I'm like, oh snap! Like this went from treasurer to like 4 levels above that. Now I'm the president, and now I was like, oh, okay, I'm newer to the motorcycle scene. I have to now grow up very fast on the motorcycle scene because now I'm in a leadership role and I'm leading grown people as we go out and ride motorcycles. And I'm rocking one of the biggest motorcycle organizations in the world, and I'm the president for Colorado Springs. So I'm like, whew, a lot of pressure. So we hold it down though. We hold it down as best we can. And then military. This is not even in order because military should have came before that. But military, obviously, I'm not gonna harp on that. That's what the military teaches you at every single level: leadership, from basic training to AIT school to getting to your first command, getting to your first unit. Everything is built on leadership in the military: leading troops, leading others, leading yourself, taking care of stuff. So when I hit E5, I became a sergeant. That's where real leadership started. That's when I went to ALC, Advanced Leadership Course, and started learning about really how to manage other people. That was big time in the military. So now I'm like, okay, I'm in a leadership role now. Like I'm a sergeant. I have a team. I have people I have to manage on a daily basis. I got to check on these folks. I got to make sure that they are good and healthy and doing things they're supposed to do on and off the clock. I got, make sure folks ain't getting drunk out at the clubs and picking people up in the middle of the night. It's leadership. It's babysitting. So that's the military. So again, another leadership role. So my whole life, I just keep getting pushed in to these roles where I'm like, damn, can I just sit off on the sideline and can I just sit over here and just be chilling? Can I sit over here and just kind of just coast in this organization? And it's like, no, like you are here. We're going to put you right here. We're going to put you in this role. We're going to utilize your skills. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So join Primerica. Little did I know, leadership. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of my Primerica story. Very, very short piece of it. because that's another podcast too. Very short piece. I'm in the military. I'm gonna tell you how I joined Primerica. I'm in the military, right? I have a tax business. One of my friends, well, she was a sergeant at the time. I was an E4, so I was her subordinate. She pulls me to the side and she's like, "Hey, what are you and your wife doing? Whatever day of the week, I want to come show you this business that I'm doing, and I want you to let me know what you think about it." So she was coming to me for like more like advice, like, "Am I doing the right thing? Do you see the same potential I see? Is this a scam? Like, what are we doing?" So she comes to my house. She brings her coach, the person that's training her in the business, and they come to our house on base and they sit down with us and they go over who Primerica is, what they do, how they help families, and then they build us a financial plan. That was absolutely free. We still do that for free to this day in Primerica. So they built us a financial plan. At the time, I'm broke as hell. like, like a lot of people think, "Oh, you rich? You in the military?" No, 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 no. We living on base. If you been in Colorado, we was in the bricks inside of Gate 1, the brick buildings that we found out got asbestos and mold and everything else after we moved out. So we in the bricks, which basically looks like the projects. Any projects you ever seen, that's what it looked like. So she sits down with us, goes over Primerica, builds us a financial plan. We start following the plan. Long story short, we start paying off some debt, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." She checked back in on this, and she didn't. When she checked back in on us, she was like, "Hey, let me show you the business side of this. Like, you got the personal side going. We got life insurance." I think the first night that she came over, we talked about the business, making extra income. And when she came back to check on me, that's what it was about. It was like, "Hey, do you want to join this business, make some extra money?" And I was like, "Well, I like what you did for me. We can make some extra money doing this. I'm in." So I was like the easiest recruit in Primerica. Like, it wasn't a whole lot of convincing. And I recognized the logo from Georgia. I just didn't know the bigness of the business. So I was like, "Yeah, I seen that logo before. I know it's a legit company. Let me join." So I joined the business, get my life insurance license. About 2 years after that, I got my investment license, and then things really started picking up. So that's kind of how I got into the Primerica. But I didn't. I kind of came into it for myself, and then I noticed, oh man, to really make big money here, the big aspect of it is team building. Yeah, the big aspect of it. Why do I have? Okay, that's weird. The big aspect of it is team building. And it was like, just like real estate. It's like, you want to have a big firm, you go hire a whole bunch of real estate agents. You want to have a big financial services agency, you go hire a whole bunch of brokers to join you in business and get them licensed. And then, hey, you make a lot of money, overrides and everything else. So I'm like, cool, I'm in it. This is big business. Let's do it. So that's what got me in Primerica. And then since then, that's what we've been doing, giving people opportunity to make extra money for themselves, getting licensed in financial services, helping families out. That's what we do on a daily basis, pretty much in nutshells. We help families earn more income, become property protected, debt-free, and financially independent. That's the whole tagline. And it's true to this day. Damn, that's good. It's true to this day. That's what we help people do. Financial services. So, but in Primerica, it taught me leadership. This business is the business I say taught me the most about leadership. And it's because I'm around people who are making $20, $30, $40,000 a month. And to get to that income level, the type of leader that you have to be, the way you have to carry yourself, the adjustments you have to make, the education that you learn from people who make that type of wealth, what most people make in a year, they make it in a month or 2 months. The nuggets that you get from folks at that income level is so dope. So taught me a lot about leadership being in Primerica. And then the next piece, like I told you, this is out of order, is being a parent. Like, nobody's prepared for that. Especially when you don't, like, it wasn't a sit down like, "Hey, on April 2nd, we want to have a kid," or whatever the case may be. Like, some people, I can mean people who like get together and they plan like their future, or they plan when they're going to have their baby. To me, I think that's kind of dope. It's like, y'all got together, you love each other, you get married, and then you probably travel the world for a couple of years, and then you guys like literally have a plan. Like, at this age, we're gonna try to start having a baby. I'm like, man, that's kind of dope. Like, that y'all actually thought about all that. That was not my story. That was not our story. When we found out that Kelly was pregnant with baby Kyle, everything started moving quick. It was like, oh, now we really have to grow up today. Like, it's got to happen fast. And then a year later, Carter comes along, and it's like, oh, it's even faster. Now you're parents. Now you got some little eyes looking up to you. Now you have a spouse that's looking up to you. Now you have to leave. Now it's time to definitely drop out of school. Now it's time to go to work. Now it's time to start making money. Now it's time to start providing. And that is where big leadership starts to come into play. Being a partner, being a parent, and now really doing all this really as a kid, if you think about it, because that's what we were. We were kids, and then now we are both in a position. I can speak for me and Kelly on that one, where we're leading because now we're raising young ones. So things start to speed up pretty quick. And then looking at a couple other pieces was the barbershop. You know, when I went to barbering school, I came out and wanted to, own a barbershop or operate a barbershop. So inside the beauty salon, Kelly already owned a beauty salon. We had another room that was big enough for 3 chairs. So I put 3 chairs in there. We started casting the vision for a barbershop. That's probably my worst leadership ever out of all the things I've ever done. Um, and I think that was bad only because um, I, I can't really say blurring friendship. I think friendship played a huge part in why that wasn't successful. Sometimes you have great intentions with the people that you care about, but the vision just it's hard sometimes when you're trying to do things with friends. There's everybody has to be on the same page. I'll say it like that because I don't want people to take it the wrong way. Everybody just has to be on the same page. Like it's got to be a full lock in with like-minded individuals, and everybody has to be like for real locked in. Like we doing this, and it was a lot of, and I was dropping the ball too. So everybody was dropping the ball. It was a lot of like just bad accountability, or that's my boy, he good, he'll be here tomorrow, whatever. It just never really popped off the way we envisioned it coming out of school. So that was a little leadership check. That was a little, punching in the guts. Like, dang, man, kind of failed at that. Um, and then fast forwarding, friends, your center of influence, your friends. I think every friend circle has leaders in it. And the longer you're friends with people, I think those roles change as well. Some days somebody's a leader, some days somebody's not a leader. I can honestly say in my close friend group, um, I would probably deem myself more like the leader, like the level-headed one, the one that most people would call for counsel. Like, man, what you think about this? Um, but I think also sometimes, like when you've been in a position so long, you just kind of want to give up that responsibility, and then it turns into, you know what? I just want to follow. I just want to like. I don't want to be the person everybody look up to. I just want to let my hair down and follow. And I will be the first to tell you that shit is the dumbest decision. It is not the answer. I have a lot of experience in why that is not the answer. Balance is key to all relationships. Um, and then the next thing I'm gonna talk about is the last two things. I know I got some more leadership stuff out there, but this is just the last two because we can go on forever. Because I got so much, my hands in so much stuff. I ain't talk about screen printing, making shirts. We got too much stuff going on. So, um, REIT, REIT. It's a real estate investment trust. So this was a cool leadership moment because I got an opportunity. A good friend of mine called me and said, "Hey man, do you got some money? Because we about to buy some land." And in my head, I'm thinking, I got a little bit of money. I don't got no big money like what you probably talking about. I don't got that type of money. But we ended up doing something to kind of make a long story short. We got 20 friends together, and there's an investment opportunity here in Colorado where we were able to purchase ownership in some land out here down south. So we did a real estate investment trust with 20 investors. We all brought money to the table, and then we invested into some land. So that's just a long story short. It was kind of cool because from a leadership standpoint, it's like I'm looking around. We're like, yo, we own something. We own a piece of something. Like we in meetings and board meetings with New York Stock Exchange publicly traded advisors that are telling us what the projection is of the investment that we just did, and it's dope. It's a dope investment. So give you a little. I'm gonna move on from this, but the investment was the land that we have ownership in is currently a grow farm for some of the largest dispensaries in Colorado. So I don't smoke, but we own some land that cannabis is grown on, and it supplies the dispensaries in Colorado. And it was just cool. It was a cool investment because the coolest part about this investment, to be honest with you, and then I'm gonna move on from this, um, was going to the farm for the first time and getting a tour as investors. The way they rolled out the red carpet for us was so, it made you feel so special. And then we get out there and they're like, even when I go down there, if I go down to that dispensary, there's a separate log that you sign, that you check in as a guest, and then you write down, I get to write down my name that I'm visiting, then I write down the investment group's name. I put that on the paper, and a lot of times once you put that on the paper, they would let the owner or whoever's managing that day let know that you're in the building. So they come out, shake your hand, what's up, because in their head they're like, hey, you own like all this in here, wouldn't be here if it wasn't for some of your money. So this is kind of cool, man, make you feel special. But I think the coolest part about the tour was when we went out to the land that everything was growing on, and learning about all the different cannabis and different strands. And I had a picture. It's my old phone, I lost it, but I had a picture. I'm holding like 2 bags of hash, and it was basically just like the extra cannabis, pieces. I don't know a lot about this, but whatever. It's a hash, 2 giant bags. So I'm sitting here just holding these bags. I'm like, man, some heavy bags. And it's like, yeah, that's hash. We put that like in like the little pre-rolls, and that's what we sell for like $1 at the register, or they we give them away for birthday presents and stuff like that. So I was like, well, how much is like a bag, like this bag that I'm holding? And the guy was like, well, that's probably about 50,000 in each of your hands. I was like, yeah, bro, there's so much money in that industry, man. It's crazy. I'm sitting here holding like $100,000 in hash. And we walked around. We saw all the way they just process everything, and it's a whole operation. And it's so cool, man. I feel like I was in Grand Theft Auto or something, but legally. So that was cool. That's probably one of the coolest investments that we have right now. I can't wait. I think we're going to try to plan another trip out this year for another tour. And then the last thing, right now I am a government contractor. That's a crazy segue. We have 2 bags of hash, and I'm a government contractor. No, but I am a government. That's just investments. Yeah, it's just investments. But I'm a government contractor. And what I do now, part time, is I work for a huge European company, based out of the UK. And what we do is I fly around the whole West Coast and I teach the military transition class. So from a leadership standpoint, like this week, I'll be on one of the greatest bases in the world, the United States Air Force Academy, teaching about 28 to 30 people what it looks like to transition out of the military. And I mean, building resumes, learning how to present yourself to others, branding, interview skills, like all that stuff is what I teach people on a daily basis, is how to find jobs. So I work in conjunction with the Department of War, not DOD, we DOW now. So Department of War, and I teach those military classes. So that's like, another role where people look at me for guidance, people look at me for my advice, my leadership, and it puts you in that role where it's like, okay, it's go time. I gotta go. No matter what my attitude is, I gotta come in here and I gotta be ready to lead these people, because their careers are based on what I tell them. What happens next is going to be the weight of what I say is going to resonate with these folks. And I'm really good at my job. I'm really good at that job. And I love doing it. And I love helping service members. And I know the stress of getting out the military is scary. So just being able to relieve a little bit of that tension, give them some advice, help them find jobs, build their resumes, reach out to companies and hiring decision makers. To me, it gives me a sense of satisfaction. So to segue into the biggest piece of this podcast tonight is, with having responsibilities like that and different responsibilities where people look up to you. We have this saying in Primerica's, our founder of Primerica's used to say this, and he said, never show hurt, never show doubt, never show fear. And I get that from a business standpoint, being in the leadership role. I definitely get it. But when you hear that, when you really break that down, never show hurt, never show doubt, never show fear, what happens when you don't show all that stuff? So what tends to happen, and I answer, when you don't show all that stuff, that means you're suppressing it. It's literally like the full strategy to suppression. It's like, hey, we know that you're hurt right now. We know your feelings are hurt right now. We know you're down, but smile. Don't show it. Um, we know that you're doubting how things are going to turn out in this season, but smile. Get through it. That's what you got to do. You can't show hurt. You can't show doubt. And we know you're scared, but smile. you can't you can't show that because people are watching. You're a leader. You have a team. What if they see you hurt? How would that make them feel? You could lose your whole team when they see a weak leader. So when you think about it, it's like, damn, I'm a Leo. August 13th, I'm a Leo. So we talk about zodiac, I'm a lion. And I seen this quote and it says, no one ever asks if the lion is okay. No one ever. You look at the lion in the jungle. I've never watched National Geographic and wondered, man, I feel bad for that lion. Or I hope that lion ain't scared tonight. I hope that lion sleeps well tonight. I hope that lion doesn't have any predators looking for it. Because the lion is like, that's the apex out there. So everything falls below that. So when you look at the lion, and it's funny because I was literally just watching um, Story of David. Dang, what's the name of it? Dang, I just forgot the name of it. Anyway, we was watching David last night. David and Goliath. Um, and when he went to go take on the Lion of Judah, when he, that's why they nicknamed him whatever. But when he went to go take on the lion, it was the same thing. It was like nobody feared, or that lion feared nobody. Put it that way. The lion feared nobody. And then David pulled up in the cave on the lion. I'm like, man, this dude wild. Come out with his teeth in his hand, his claws. I'm like, David is a wild boy. But I'm just looking at that. I'm like, man, I don't think I've ever feared for a lion. The lion always brings fear. The lion is the one that's at the top of the food chain. And everything after that goes down. But it's wild because if you see a lion in the wild on like National Geographic and then look at a lion inside of a zoo, you can almost see that there's two different personalities. And the lion that's in cage inside of a zoo is not happy. I can tell you that much. House of David, thank you, House of David. But the lion inside the captive cage is not happy, but he still looks scary as shit. Like real talk, like you're not gonna want to be in that cage with that lion. So it's one of them things where it's like, man, like when you display power or you display leadership, you display being a boss, being showing up for people, showing up for everybody. I rarely say no when people need help. Like when people really need me, I hate moving. I hate helping people move. But if it's my friends, I'm like, man, all right, bro, God, dog. But and then you show up and you show up and you show up and you show up, and even when it's hurting you or even when it's costing you money, you still just show up like relentlessly. You don't even think about it. Something needs to get done. It's like, I gotta go take care of this. No matter what it does to you on the back end, it's almost like I'll figure that part out later. But I gotta go take care of this. And then you do all that, and it's like, who does the lion go to vent? Who does the strongest person in your circle go to decompress? And a hard part about being in leadership roles, especially when you don't trust, I guess, a lot of people, is when you do open up and then you feel like you get betrayed. Now you go to a whole nother level of like just a dark place. So I got this. I made up this word. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Hold on a second. I'm gonna type this in the chat. I gotta learn how to spell it too, cause I made it up. All right, I just typed it in the chat. The first word I made up. It's a made up word. Am I frozen? Oh no, I'm not. Okay, it's a made up word. I call it business ship. And I had to make this word up to make me feel better about a current situation I'm going through. Um, then you have I can't spell relationship. I didn't mean to spell that way, but relationship and friendship. Can I edit that? Probably not. Yeah, it's out there now. Oh yeah, it's out there. It's done. It's in the universe. Business ship, relationship, friendship. So most of us know friendship. That's the easy one. That's like, hey, it's my friend. We've been friends for a long time. We go way back. I trust this person. We can pour into each other. That's friendship. That's somebody that you can confide in or feel like you can confide in. We typically call that friendship. Then you have relationship. Friendships can turn into relationships as well. They're just a bit deeper rooted. But typically, when we hear relationship, we're thinking about a partnership, a couple, things in that nature. So relationships is deeper. Relationships could be your spouse. Relationships can be a girlfriend, a boyfriend. It could be of course, married couples. Your friendships can turn into deeper relationships when you confide in people like in a deeper setting. But for the most part, we kind of know what a relationship is. Business ship is a word that I made up. And what I call business ship is when you think that somebody is your friend. You think you have a great relationship with somebody, but deep down, the only thing that's tying you to that person is business ties. So what I mean by that, I have somebody in my circle that I classify in this category, and I made this word up because I needed to place this person somewhere before I lost my mind. But this person is someone who will kind of talk to you as if it's a deeper relationship or friendship, but really they're just calling you about business. They're just calling you to make sure things in business are moving a certain way. And it could be easily misconstrued as this person really does care about me, or this person has a deeper relationship to me, or cares about what's going on with my family, or it's just calling to check and see how I'm doing. Hey man, what's going on? How you doing? How are you? How's your mental? When you realize that it's never that, then I can classify it into an area of this is a business ship. This is not a relationship. This is not a friendship. This when we talk, it's about business. But that helps me too because now I know where to. I know how much to open up in that area now. When you call me, I don't have to go into my mental. I don't have to go into my family. I don't have to go into the kids because let's be honest, you don't care. Let's be honest, you don't care about that. What you care about is business, and that's fine. Now that I recognize that, that's fine. I just didn't have a word for it, so it used to piss me off so much because I'm like, I don't know what to call this, so I had to make up a word. So that's my new word. Y'all heard it here first. It's called business ship. Is when you have a business relationship with somebody and you just keep it strictly business. It ain't nothing else to talk about. You don't got to talk about nothing else. You don't got to try to get deeper than that. Don't try to overcomplicate it. Don't try to overthink it. Don't try to turn it into something that is not. It is business. Are we turning a profit? Yes and no. Bam. We not? Bet. Have a good day. That's it. Now we have a classification for it. So my big thing and my big takeaway, and one of the things I really want people to realize is I want people to understand that some people who are the strongest people that you look at, who you've never seen cry, who you never seen have an attitude, who's always smiling, who's always showing up, who's always doing what looks like the work. Where people say, man, that person's busy, man. You got this going on. You got that. I see you traveling. You got kids and this and that. And they give you all these props. The people, the big center of influences in your life. Those people sometimes are going through the roughest battles. But because they're the lion, nobody's asking if the lion's okay. Nobody's asking, hey, are you good? Like, cut the BS. Like, for real, for real. Are you straight? Like, on a deep, like you good for real? because I know you carrying a lot. I know you doing a lot, but like for real, like you straight. Nobody ever asks those people that because the persona, the facade, the face. I learned at a camp called Band of Brothers. We call it posing. Is when you're basically just acting like something that you're not. And sometimes posing can be you just acting happy. You could be just in the darkest place, and you're just smiling and showing up because that's all you know how to do. I actually wrote a song, and it's called Face On, and I used AI to write it, and I'm gonna try to get it embedded in the next podcast so we can listen to it. But I like to write. I used to write a lot, and I write now. I'm writing more now, but I wrote this song. I wrote like 2 songs actually, but 3 songs. I wrote 3 songs recently, and I used AI. I use this app called Sona. I think it's called Sona. Hold on, I'm gonna tell y'all the app, so just in case y'all want to play with it. No, it's called Suno, Suno. So I wrote 3 songs with this app. I'm gonna type that in the chat just in case y'all want to download it for free. They got a paid version like everything else, but it's called the Suno app. And when I came back from the cruise, the Uber driver that picked me up, he was telling me about how he was writing songs in this AI generated app. And I wrote this song called Face On. And the premise of the song stemmed from, hold on, I got to pull the song up because I got lyrics to it. But the premise of the song stemmed from, let me make sure it doesn't play. Let me pause it. And then where's my lyrics at? Oh, there it is. There's my lyrics. So the whole premise of this song stemmed from when women are putting their makeup on. So I want you to think about it from that premise. And then the song is called Face On. And when I wrote it, it was mainly saying, and the lyrics are mainly saying, you know how women, they're sitting in front of their vanity and they're putting their, and we always call it, for men, we say, oh, you putting your face on, or women say it, you know, I'm putting my face on, I'm putting my face on, give me a second, I'm putting my face on. And what they're doing is they're doing their makeup. They're putting a face on. They're showing themselves in a way that may not be how they really feel. They might be in a bad mood, but they in there, they drawing the eyebrows and they fluffing this and I don't know all the stuff the makeup is called, but they doing all that lipstick and they popping. And then then you turn around and it don't matter if it's your spouse. You have seen this person every day, but sometimes when they sit in front of that vanity and they put their face on and they turn around, you be like, damn, like you dang near fall in love again because you just like you see them in a slightly different way. Still beautiful, but it's just like, dang man, they put that face on, they put that thing on, and that's where the song that I wrote came from because it was more like we do that as men, and it's not so much makeup, some men, but it ain't so much makeup, but it's when we wake up in the morning with the weight of everything that we have to handle as men, and as fathers, and as partners, and as bosses, and leaders in the community, and confidants, and all this stuff. We literally do the same exact thing. We put our face on. Before we walk out of the house, it's like, okay, time to step out into the real world. When I will go to the gym in the morning, 5 a.m., and I ain't feeling it, and I walk in, I'm smiling, I just put my face on. So this song, when I wrote it, and it starts off with a text message with me and a friend that passed away, and it starts off with our last text message that we wrote to each other, and then it goes into the song. So the lyrics, I ain't gonna say it right now because my voice is raspy as heck, but I'm gonna give you a little bit of lyrics, and then I'll try to put this maybe on the Built from the Break page. But the lyrics basically say, all the pain that I feel, I still gotta put my face on. All the loss over the years, I still gotta put my face on. No matter how I feel, I still gotta put my face on. Man, God help me heal while I put this face on. So it's got a beat to it. It's got the rhythm. I don't feel like doing all that. But actually I do it. So in the context of the hook is all that pain that I feel, I still got to put that face on. I lost over the years, I still got to put my face strong. So it's just kind of like, it's like that type of cadence to it. But it's basically saying no matter what's going on in your life, sometimes you still just got to put that face on. You still got to just pull the pants up. You still got to put the makeup on. You still got to fake it. You still got to step out the door and act like you're way better than what you really are. And that is like some of the hardest stuff to carry for most people on a daily basis, is walking out here in this world with everything going on and you're posing as if you're okay. And people walk right past you, and then you start to feel completely invisible, because now it's just like, I am over here dying. I'm over here struggling. I'm over here mentally on the verge of a breakdown, and people are walking right up to you, shaking your hand, smiling in your face, like everything's okay. And all we have to do as men is pull our pants up and say, "Man up, get back out there, Tiger. Never show hurt, never show doubt, never show fear." And it's just like, dang, man, like you want to be vulnerable, but it's just like you can't, because it's so much responsibility. I've had I've been, at chemo with my mom, and I've had people call me asking about business, and I almost wanted to crash out. And I had to remember, they don't know that you're going through something. They don't know that you're sitting right next to your mom while she's doing the chemo treatment, and you're watching her pain, and you get a phone call, and they asking you a tax question. they don't, but they don't see that as business owners. They don't see where, your kid car break down, you carpooling him to work, and then you turn around and you know you making sure your partner's straight, and and that she got what she needs, and then you got stuff breaking around you, and then you get into the office, and then you just get a phone call where somebody just asks you a silly ass question, and from a professional standpoint, you gotta put that face on and answer it like everything's okay. I've had people who have called me and literally asked me about business production the same day that I lost my stepfather, because they didn't have the relationship with me to say, "Hey man, how's it going? Everything going all right with you?" To find out I just had a death in the family today. But you're calling me, asking me about business production. And I'm supposed to not feel a type of way. I gotta put that face on. So all the pain that I feel, I still gotta put that face on. All the loss over the years, I still gotta put that face on. God help me heal while I put this face on. This face on. I wrote the song because of that, and the song is pretty dope. The AI generator it made it super dope. So I throw it out there, but that's where I wrote the song. It was really just from a standpoint of like, man, it don't matter what you going through, you still got to put that face on. You got kids looking at you. You got leadership roles. You got responsibilities. And it's been some times where like I would be in the office and people are like, "Man, you're crazy, man. You're in the office till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning." And it's like, man, why are you doing hours like that? And in my head, as crazy as it sounds, is because the faster I get all your tax returns done, the faster y'all stop talking to me. And I'm not even saying that from like a malicious standpoint, because I appreciate all my clients. Y'all are a blessing. I would not have some of the things I have without being able to do this type of production. But when you're going through a season where you're trying to work on yourself and build and rebuild yourself and find yourself while you're dealing with loss, while you're dealing with trauma, while you're dealing with just so many things in your personal life, and you own a business and you're the boss and you still got to produce, now it's like, okay, if I got to produce, I'm not going to quit what I'm doing, but I can speed it up. And I'm going to produce it. I'm going to produce fast as possible to the point where I get everything off my plate. Then I can say, I can breathe. Then I can say, I'm not hopefully about to have a mental breakdown, and I can actually now take a chance to breathe. And I'm saying this because I know there's people in this chat that are moving like that. I know the dads that's in this chat. Like, it's some great fathers in this chat. I'm looking at the chat right now. I see Caleb, bro. I see you, bro. Like, real talk. I see you at the basketball games with your kids. Or when I call you, like, "Hey, man, I'm humping. It's dad time. I'm heading to the next, whatever it is. I got baby girl. We heading over here. Oh, they want to watch a movie." I see that stuff. I see my brother-in-law on here, man, still raising 4 kids and got a grandbaby, city to city. Like, I see that stuff. And a lot of times, no one asks you, "Jasmine, you raising multiple babies, got them babies growing up, Nehemiah, all them." Like, I'll be watching parents and everybody on here, everybody in this chat, man. Kelly, Ashley, I done called you. It's so funny calling Ashley because she be at work when I be talking to her, and she be in the ER. And I be trying to figure out what all them abbreviations mean, but she got a routine. Like all my sisters, man, they got routines in here, and it's like I see y'all, Neek, I see you working out, I see your Facebook for real. Like I see you grinding. Sometimes I be want to tell you like, hey, you going too hard. Like for real, there is a such thing because you got to be having enough energy to go to the gym the next day. So your 2-3 a days, just do 2 a days. You know, you don't gotta do three because you break yourself down. You ain't going the next day. But I see you. That's the biggest thing I want to say is I see you. So it's hard. It's hard, you know, and that's why I said tonight, leading while bleeding. When I don't even know what IOC mean. I ain't about to mess with you, Ashley. But leading while bleeding. I named tonight's podcast that because that's what it feels like. It feels like being a wounded animal, but you're still having to lead at the same time because everything falls on your shoulders. The whole weight of everything you built and created falls on your shoulders. And if you don't keep moving forward, it can all fall apart. And then people say, well, "What do you do in that season?" I'm new to this. I cannot tell everybody what to do, but for my folks that's in here and my followers, y'all know what I'm on right now. Hey, big Jesus, big God energy. I'm reading, man. I pray, and like I said, this is a new journey for me. Not that I've never been a Christian. This I'm new, as in um, really learning who God is. Like actually learning about God. And this journey has been beautiful. It's been exciting. It's been hard. It's been a lot of different emotions. Um, the first couple books I already went through, I felt like was my story. Going through Job. Now I'm over here with Moses and these what's my boy Alan? Is it Alan? I think his name Alan. One man, buddy over here making gold calves and got folks worshiping the wrong stuff. Hey man, these stories, y'all didn't tell me the Bible was like this, bro. It's like Game of Thrones slash Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. Like I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. The stories is dope, and I'm understanding the stories for the first time in my life, and I'm 39. So the only thing I can really tell my people that's in my podcast is learn your God, because it's new to me and I'm enjoying it. It's a dope journey, and me and Kelly we have some really cool conversations about um, God in general and Jesus in general. So it's just it's dope to kind of Aaron. I said Alan, didn't I? I said Alan. Aaron making me mad. I'm trying to figure out who my favorite character in the Bible is so far. I don't know who it is yet, but I'm gonna try to pick somebody. I'm gonna try to pick somebody in the next couple weeks. I'm in Exodus right now, so by the time next week I'll be out of Exodus. I think Leviticus is coming up next in my readings. But yeah, we just working through the Bible in a year. Y'all know what I'm on. Bible recap, and it's been dope. Really understanding these stories now, and seeing how applicable they are to everything that I got going on in my life, from healing um, to my faith, to restoration, to redemption, to everything. It's been dope. It's been a dope journey. So I do got a call to action. Um, she at the gym right now. Go ahead, get it. Go ahead, get it, sis. Um, my call to action. For the folks that's in here, I want you to, um, I want you to write down 3 people. Hold on one second. Let me read. I don't want to ignore y'all chat. This happens when you're not rooted in God. He is your release. The Holy Spirit is your. Actually, hold on. Let me go back. I don't want to disrespect y'all. That's a good way to categorize it because people definitely try to exploit relationships. You got it, Jasmine. James said, "This happens when you're not rooted in God. He is your release. The Holy Spirit is your comforter." Before I go to this, let's stop right there for a second. Let me speak on that for a second. I literally just had this conversation today, James, and I said I'm so grateful, but I'm so upset that this is like the first time in my life that I'm actually learning God, like at a base foundational level to my life, outside of just being drugged to church and not really understanding what's going on and things like that, but actually learning, because it's one of the dopest like journeys I've ever been on. Like it's super duper dope. And I think what you just said, if you're not rooted, to me that's just that foundation. And I feel like my whole life was not built on that foundation. And now it's crumbling down, and now it's getting rebuilt on that foundation. So that's dope. Caleb said you telling the truth, but crazy thing is us men are taught to be tough and can't complain, and we got to man up, not knowing we deal with the weight of the world and somewhat we still got to be okay and keep a smile on our face. That's the song, bro. Face on. You gotta put that face on. That's that's what it basically comes down to. Um, and that's since childhood. You fall down, man, suck it up, get up, put some dirt on it. Be a man. Put them Barbie dolls down. Be a man. Don't what you complain to your mama for? Stop crying. Suck it up. Breathe. Be a man. That's it. And then we build these exteriors and these shells to where as you get older, I never seen my grandfather cry, and I remember my grandfather pretty vividly, even though he passed away when I was young, because I remember sitting on the porch eating circus peanuts, and those circus peanuts, the styrofoam ones, the nasty ones, and the orange slices, the little orange slices. Those orange slices are actually pretty decent to this day. A decent orange slice, not as long as it's not super hard. Orange slices are not terrible, but circus peanuts, that damn cardboard. I remember that with my grandfather, but I ain't never seen my grandfather cry. My dad, I seen my dad cry, but it took, man, I probably was in my 30s when I first seen my dad cry. Um, yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, so we're gonna keep going. So we have to learn to give our issues to God. Stop trying to carry them ourselves. That is how I made it this far. I got away from it, but learn to give it back as things gotten harder. So James, man, you dropping bars tonight. One of the things that they just said at church, our Pastor Brandon had literally just told us this. He said, "Stop giving something." Well, I'm not saying you're doing this. It was a general message. He said, "Stop giving stuff to God and then trying to pick it back up yourself." He said because you're gonna go into a tug of war, and that God is the last person you want to go into a tug of war with, because He gonna be like, you know what, you got it, bro. Go ahead and take it. Either gonna give it to me and let me have it, or you take it and you deal with it. But we ain't about to do both. So whatever you're dealing with, if you're saying I'm giving it over to God, give it to Him and move on and trust that He gonna handle it, because He gonna handle everything. So there are things that you should handle yourself. I don't say just wake up tomorrow and say I give everything to God. Like, bro, you being lazy. Like some stuff you need to do. But all in all, if you're going through something that you just like, I don't have the answer for this, that's when you use that. That's when you use that lifeline. And the crazy part, you got unlimited lifelines when you're dealing with God. So it's just like, bam, hey God, I'm gonna work on this. Guide my steps over here. But while I'm guiding my steps over here, this piece right here, I'm gonna need you to take this one. Like, I'm doing the work, because faith without works is dead. So I'm still gonna do the work. Don't get it twisted. I'm gonna do the work. I'm walking with you. I just I don't got the tools for this piece. So I'm gonna go over here with my hammer and I'm gonna work on the drywall. But Lord, I need you to lay the concrete. I need you to be, the paving crew. I need you to go over there and do all the lines over there, the detail work, because I just don't got that in me right now. I ain't learned that piece yet. And then you start walking this path where it's like, oh, I'm walking in conjunction with God. We're both building something together. He's building me while I'm watching him build, take care of things. And now we got this beautiful relationship that's being fostered. So that's kind of where I feel like my life is right now. It's stuff that I have struggled to give over to God 100%. And I know I'm doing like a little tug of war battle, and I have to keep reminding myself, Kyle, trust, faith, pray, routine, attack, get back at it. It's another day. Love hard, keep on doing what you're doing, hit the gym in the morning, do your Bible reading, do your time of self-reflection and prayer, jot, write. I wrote so much over here, plus the songs, and just stay the path. Stay the path and keep it moving. Let God handle the pieces that you don't feel like you can handle. And trust that all will work out. So that's kind of where I'm at. So call to action. And actually, I'm going to try to do this. We're going to test this out. I don't know if this is going to do the right thing over the microphone. I'm going to play Face On for y'all through my phone. And hopefully y'all can hear the lyrics. If not, it's not a long song. If not, what I'll do is I'll figure out how to post it to the Built from the Break page. So I'm going to play Face On, and then I'm going to give y'all a call to action. And then we're going to end the stream because I want to go watch episode 2 of The House of David because I'm excited to see what happens next with my guy out here trying to fight Goliath. So I got to go watch House of David. So here we go. Let's see if this plays okay. I'm just going to hold it up to the speaker and see if you guys can hear the lyrics.
Call me, babe. You don't be calling folk back, man. Man, what up? I'm for real, you don't love me. And I'ma call you back. Took it for granted, this life that we living, it's gone. I wish I knew that our last call would be the last one. I would've told you how much you meant to me, but I took tomorrow for granted. And now I gotta live with pain and agony. Face on. All the pain that I feel, I still gotta put my face on. All the loss of over years, I still gotta put my face on. No matter how I feel, I still gotta keep that face on. Man, God help me heal while I put this face on. All the pain that I feel, I still gotta put my face on. All the loss over the years, I still gotta keep my face on. No matter how I feel, I still gotta keep that face on. Man, God help me heal while I put this face on. Heavy mind and a heart this torn, but the world don't care, so I weather the storm. Gotta move like I'm good, gotta talk like I'm fine when my soul bleeds out in between the lines. Seen too much loss, too many to count, pain stacking up like a never ending amount. But I smile for the crowd with a mask like a pro cut, showing how I feel. Nah, they don't wanna know, keep it bottom. Lock deep where the scars hide, no tears in public, just pride in a hard stride. I keep it pushing even when I'm barely hanging on, that's life these days. So I put my face on. So I put my face on. All the pain that I feel, I still gotta put my face on. All the loss over the years, I still gotta keep my face on. No matter how I feel, I still gotta keep that face on. Now I'll be here while I put this face on. They don't see the nights when I break down slow. Only see the armor, not the weight I told. People say be strong, but they don't feel the call. Smiling through silence and carrying loss. I've been laughing on the outside, dying on the low. Numb to the pain, but it still won't go. Trying to find peace, but it's hard in the dark when the past still cuts like a blade to the heart. But I pray for strength even when I doubt. Try to find a light when the flame burns out. I hold it together so the world moves on, but deep down inside, I just put my face on. So if you see me smiling, don't assume I'm okay. Sometimes that smile is just armor for the day. I walk strong, but some days I'm barely standing. Still I rise with my face on.
All right. That's it. That's it. That's Face On. Like I said, I'm gonna try. Hopefully, yeah. I hope y'all were able to hear the lyrics a little bit. Um, but I wrote that. I wrote all the lyrics and then I put it into Suno and then I put in the kind of like ChatGPT. I put in the prompts of like the vibe I was going for. So the beginning of that song was the last text message to my one of my best friends, Demetria, who passed away, and that's why I started. Man, call me back because you'll never be calling folks back, man. That's what she always used to say to me. And I was like, man, whatever. And she's like, I'm for real. You don't love me. And I was like, man, I'm gonna call you back. Like that's why I was texting her, and that's why I say I kind of took that for granted because I was like one of the last conversations we had. And then the rest of it is just Face On. It's talking about losing people, dealing with loss, dealing with having to move forward, dealing with having to suck everything up and just move like you're okay. And the outro basically saying, so if you see me smiling, don't assume I'm okay. Sometimes that smile is just armor for the day. I walk strong, but some days I'm barely standing, but still I rise with my face on. So hopefully, somebody said that, yeah. So hopefully, y'all can take the message from that. It's on Suno. I'll see if I can drop it in the chat, Caleb, to the Bible chat. But that was my release for grief, and I don't want to do the grief on this podcast. I really don't, because I ain't trying to cry tonight. But that was my like song for grief. But it was also my song for like, dang man, like I done lost my brother-in-law. I done lost Demetria. I done lost folks in the military. I done lost all this loss around me. And it's just like my phone ring and it's just like, hey, you know, what's the status on my tax return? Hey, what's the status on this? Hey, what's the status on that? In my head, I'm just like, I'm trying to hold it together, bro. But being a business owner, being a center influence, being in a position where you have to just keep moving with everything that's going on around you, where you want everything just to slow down and be quiet for a second, you just got to keep moving. Like, and you got to trust God, and you got to start praying, and you got to build that relationship. That's my personal belief right now, and I don't think that's going to change. But that's where that load come from. So call to action, man. Let's end this. Let's end this. It's 7:26. We got 4 minutes. I want to end this right at 7:30 my time. So listen, call to action, man. And I hope y'all just listen to this and just take this advice for the folks that's in here. Write down 3 people on a sheet of paper who you believe are strong. I mean, they got it together. They drive a nice car. They live in a nice house. Like, you just believe like these people are strong people in your community, in your circle. And they're smiling. They look like life is great on a daily basis. And I challenge you before next Monday to reach out to those 3 people. And when I say reach out, I ain't talking about no, hey man, I seen a new car you bought. I'm talking about reach out, like, hey, how you been doing? Like, for real, like, personal life, man. I'm doing a mental check, man. How you doing outside of everything else, man? How's the mental, man? How you feeling? Get personal. Pry. I'm telling y'all, pry. Some people exterior will give you the default answer, man, I'm good. Pry. You sure? And let them know that you're an open door. Hey man, if you ever need to talk, you ever need anything, bro, I got you. If you're gonna be that confidant for that person. But pry a little bit. Because people's external shell, when they're dealing with a lot of stuff, is the automatic rejection of I'm good, bro. That's the automatic, man. I'm good. So just pry a little bit. Pull back the layers a little bit. Make sure you can make sure that that person is really okay. And hopefully you can, I'm not gonna say save somebody, but you just never know what people are going through for real. So you never know if you are saving somebody by just calling and just being like, hey, you good? Like, for real, for real. Let's go grab lunch. Let's go grab coffee. We ain't caught up in a while. Let's talk. And just peel back just a little bit. Try to get their guard to break just a little bit. And I'm telling you, you might be surprised at some of the stuff you hear. So that's my call to action as we end the podcast. Just try to pry a little bit. Try to get in people's business a little bit. I know it sounds a little wild, but just try to pry just a little bit. And because you never know what people are going through. And you could be the person that just talked them off a ledge that you didn't know they were standing on. So my name is Kyle Petties, serial entrepreneur, multiple business owner, father, son, partner, all that stuff. We do it all. This podcast was called Leading While Bleeding. And being the forefront, being the lion, being the main focal point in every room that you're in, and wearing that face and having that face on and smiling and shaking hands and cheesing and being the mayor, sometimes it's a facade. And sometimes those people are the folks that need the biggest hug that you can give them. So that's what I got for you. That's his message tonight. I love y'all. Follow the page, share the podcast, comment, all that good stuff. And if you reach out to those people and did your homework, drop it on the Built from the Break page or send me a message directly through Built from the Break, not to my personal page. I know I'm broadcasting from my personal page. You know, we're about 45 days away from being able to go live on the actual page. So until then, we're going to go live from my personal. But send the message to the Built from the Break page. You know how Facebook work with algorithms. I want them to see that the community is engaging in the chat with that page. That way we can continue to grow that page and hopefully inspire and help, hopefully heal. So thank you for following me along on my healing journey. We're going to continue to heal, and I look forward to next Monday night at 6 p.m. Other than that, God bless everybody that's on here. Peace. I'm about to go watch House of David. Episode 2, baby. Let's get it. Future millionaires. I know all y'all future millionaires in here. Blessings upon blessings on everybody. Let's get it.